You feel like physical clutter or online clutter is getting in the way of your productivity or your efficiency as an entrepreneur, stay tuned because our expert today is going to share 5 steps to declutter not only your physical space, but also your mind.
Hi, my name's June Morrow, and I help emerging coaches and transformational consultants step out of isolation and into more authentic connections with messaging that inspires them and their ideal audiences. And if this is you and you're struggling with finding clients, I encourage you to download my free training below, How to Find Clients When Social Media Isn't Doing It For You.
So hello and welcome to 5 Things. And I am super excited today to have Jessica Tudos with me. Jessica is such a cool woman. She is a multi-passionate entrepreneur. She is a former Olympic gymnast. She represented Canada at the Olympics. She has written a children's book. And what she does now is she helps entrepreneurs optimize their physical spaces and their mindsets so they can focus on what matters most. So welcome, Jessica.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for having me, June.
Yeah, my pleasure. So tell me, why does it matter? Like, why does decluttering even matter? Why can't we just work with stuff around?
Well, let's start with everyone's different. So the extent to which people can do what they need to do and accomplish the goals they want to accomplish with stuff, there's not one size fits all. So we will start there. Having said that, I think we could all agree that when we, you know what it is? It's choosing what we want to have in our life. Choosing the things that make us enable us to do the work that we are meant to be doing. So if we've got things in the way that don't serve us, that don't help us out, that just add to our confusion and not sure what to do, and you're searching for things and you don't know where to find them, and you just waste a lot of time, right? And then it's inefficient, unfocused, and then you feel crappy. So this idea of decluttering, moving all that away and just choosing what makes sense, what makes you do your best work, that's what I help people do. So
Amazing.
It's a bit of a flip, not just taking away, but it's actually choosing what to include.
Right. So what do you keep? So it's not just like put everything in a box and shove it in a closet, yeah. Love that. I love that. So tell me, what are some ways that people can declutter? What are five ways or steps?
Yeah, I know this is called 5 ways. So this is kind of fun because over time I've developed a technique that I've seen work over and over again, whether it's paperwork, whether it's your pantry, whether it's the closet, or whether it's I don't know how to do this next project. So it's really quite cool that there are 5 steps. It's called the Tudos technique. So my last name, that makes it easy to remember. And the 5 steps are, I'll just quickly there: think, uncover, decide, organize, and sustain. So sometimes people, when they even hear those words, they're like, wait, I came to you for organizing and that's only the 4th step? I'm going to start there. It's like, no. This is the whole point, is the 3 steps before are really crucial, because if you don't do the 3 steps and you just start organizing, it probably won't last. You probably end up with the same clutter and mess and whatever that looks like. Again, everyone's different.
Right.
So these first 3 steps are crucial. So the first one, do you want me to go through them?
Yeah.
Go through them. But it's a process, right? So we start with thinking, we start with the mindset, because if we don't know why we're doing this and why it matters, when things get hard and it gets frustrating and you're like, oh, this is the last thing I want to be doing, is spending my time picking up and cleaning up, right? Yeah. We need to know why we're doing this thing. How will this change my life? How will this help me get to where I envision going? How will decluttering and moving the things that don't serve us anymore out of the way, out of our life, give it to someone else that can benefit?
Yeah.
We want to think about why we're doing it. What's the big why? What's the big
right?
Why? So that's always step 1.
What are some of the whys that people have for doing this?
Yeah, big whys are often around productivity and efficiency and staying focused. because I think, let's imagine, it's Monday morning, you come to your desk and you're ready to go for the week, and I need to follow up with this one thing, or let's say digital as well, right? So we're talking paper and paper-based, but also digital. So much of our life is digital. If we don't know where to start and we can't find what we need quickly, we get so frustrated, right? Because we waste a lot of time searching and replicating, and it's just really inefficient.
There's
and
like all these blocks.
Yeah, and we're busy, right? Like we have busy lives.
Yeah.
So that's a big driver, is to be more productive. And again, not like a machine, like productivity in it, we still leave room for creativity. We still want that room, but we want to make it easier to get there. We don't have to work so hard to find that space, literally, and mental space.
That mental space. Yeah. I know for myself, like, I'm pretty decluttered. But if you saw my hard drive on my computer, it's the hard drive of an insane person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, files on my computer. That's kind of where.
Whoever said, digital world, that'll just take away the paper and it'll make everything so much easier and seamless. In my experience, what I've learned from working with people is now we have it double. We have the paper stuff, which may be a bit less, but now we've got the digital, right? So we need categories. We need ways to organize all the pieces of our lives.
How to find, and also like and I love that it's like some of the stuff that's there, maybe it doesn't need to be there anymore. Like maybe you've got those folders for projects that you're just not going to do, or,
it can be time to really say, to get to the end point, which is not always easy, and just to say, okay, you know what, this was important 20 years ago, but now, or 10 or 5 or whatever, but now it's not, this isn't me right now. A lot of this is tied to identity, right? What's your identity? It's past, current, and
your choices. Yeah. So that's the fee. That's the fee. That's the TH. That's the T.
That's the T. It's a big one, right? We could spend like a whole hour talking about the T. Yeah. But
then the U.
When things get tough, you go back to the T. When everyone says, I can't do it, go back to the T.
What's the motivation?
So the second step is uncover. So before you can organize and decide how you're going to make your stuff work for you, you need to know what you have. All of what you have. So I always recommend taking out all the things. So physical objects, let's imagine your closet. Let's imagine shoes. Some people like lots of shoes. You got to take them all out from all the closets, from the back, the front, put them all together. Look at it as a group, and then decide, what do I want? What do I need? All the files about the whatever project you're with, which files do I need, right? Which ones are not serving me? So you want to bring it all out. It gets chaotic. People sometimes freak out because they're like, okay, this is worse than what before we started. Like what?
Yeah, now there's at least stuff was in a pile before. Now it's like everywhere on my bed or wherever. Yeah.
You see it visually. And, Marie Kondo, for the wonderful Japanese decluttering approach, like pick everything up and does it spark joy? Does it spark joy? You can use that. Like that is not a bad, use your own version, but this idea of, do I need this? It's like, I always joke about the wine glasses, because in a kitchen, let's say, there's always like lots of wine glasses. Like often, I'm like, how many people are you entertaining with these wine glasses? And they're like, I didn't even know I had that. Take it all out. Take it all out. Move to step 3, which is decide. Now you decide.
That's so hard. Deciding is so hard. Yeah. So as we're taping this, I recently moved, and I basically gave away or sold almost all my stuff. I just took what fit in my car, and I had to decide. I had to go through boxes, and I did this process, right? I had to go through boxes and boxes of stuff, and like, do I keep this? Do I sell this? Do I give it away? Do I just toss it? Like, and every single item, and some of it hits because it's your, like you said, it's your identity, right? It's who you were at a point in time, or who you wanted to be, in the case of, clothes that you thought were cool, and then you got them home and you're like, I feel horrible in this. But it's like, it's your identity. So deciding. So tell me more about, like, how can you make deciding easier.
Oh, and that's the hardest part. I mean, is making the decisions. And again, you got to go back to your why, right? Back to the beginning, the T. Okay, I want to work more efficiently in order to be able to do this. Well,
Yeah.
then my desk and my files, this is not helping me. This
Right.
is slowing me down.
Yeah.
So now I must decide how to improve that situation. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So exactly like you said, I mean, you've gone through it, right? You're deciding what to keep, some things are easy to let go of, right? And other things, oh my God, they take, like, you're really weighing. And then I always say, if you can't do it in the moment, put it aside, give it a maybe pile. It's okay. But put a limit on that, like, a week or 30 days or whatever your timeline is, to say, okay, I will come back to this, because this lingering sort of no decision is frustrating in of itself. So by not making the decision, we're delaying our progress. We really are, because once you make the decision, did you feel some lightness come when you were able to let go of certain things, even though it was hard?
Yeah, I think for me there was so much deciding that the lightness came when I finally got in my car and I just had what I had.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here, I have nothing. And it's really exciting because I get to, I just moved here to PEI and I'm recreating, and you don't really need a lot of the stuff that you have, like the wine glasses. I didn't take the wine glasses. I don't even drink, right? People over the other glasses, like,
yeah, exactly. Who says you need that, right? It's like, sometimes we have these ideas, like society tells us you have to have wine glasses, you need to have this. And it's like, okay, somehow I took that on at whatever point, and it stayed with me. But now here's your chance to say, no, I actually don't need that. But I do need these things and this and this and this, because these things will help me. And so if you really I'm going to the desk because I know you work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and, if you really like the big pile of colored stickies because that's inspiring and you're going to make notes on that, like, of course, keep that. Of course, keep the notebooks or those types of things that are adding to your practice of doing your business or your personal life. It's not about taking everything away, because I think we do want inspirational things and things that make us, remind us, or help us to, get that energy out. But we have to make those decisions. And that's just, there's no way around it, right? But once you do it, then you organize. So that takes us to step 4. Once you know what is coming back into your life, things that will serve you well, then you decide, okay, what's my lifestyle? Like, how do I work? And organize based on that. And I talk about something called prime real estate. So if you imagine, like, what's in your immediate vicinity. Again, let's use the desk example. You're sitting at your desk. Like, what do you need right close by, easy to get to? Probably your current projects, the things that help you do your current projects, not the leftover, I don't know, some old stuff or old files or conference notes from 3 years ago and a library book to return. That stuff does not need to be right around you. This is your prime real estate. So choose wisely. Put there what you are doing now, what you're working on now. And that's really helpful. And then you decide, do you need a container or a bin or a basket? Containing things is the magic sauce, honestly. Like, I am no minimalist. I like things, but they need to be in something so that I can keep them from not just becoming piles of mess. So I do like to look, because for me, out of sight, out of mind.
Right. And if you have 20 things like calling for your attention at one time, how can you focus on any of them? So it's a lot of triaging then. Organizing is really like triaging and like, what needs your attention now? What can we put somewhere else? What's the priority?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had 2 for myself, and I think for you and others that have many projects, like multi-passionate portfolioists with a lot going on. There's not just one project on the go. So I actually create these. I like the triage. That's a good way to say it. I create either a folder or a box or some place to put that project, okay, this is the website project that goes here.
Yeah.
And it's portable. It's portable. So I can move it to where it needs to be when I need it. And so if it's Wednesday and that's my focus, okay, that's going to be right beside me for the day. Yeah. But on Friday, when it's creativity day, I move that to a side and I put out the things that are going to serve me for that day. So creating these portable packages almost, or sometimes it's even a station, like a place that if you have space, you can go to do that thing, a place to write, a place to create, a place. Some people have the luxury of, having a bit of room to do different activities. So it's ready to go.
I love that. Is there a way that you can do that online? Like even just having different, like, okay, now you've just got the one window open instead of 700 windows open?
Absolutely. And I mean, folders are super helpful. Like I have a pretty intricate folder system because it's like I within my main categories, there's a lot in there, but they're categorized in a way that it's not overwhelming. When I look at my desktop, I don't see 50 file folders. I see 10, and I know that these are the 10 areas of my life: parenting, business, like main areas. And when I open that, that's my focus. And I'm trying to focus on that.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, in terms of tabs, of course,
areas of your life,
that's a different part, but these are my own files. And I think that helps with others as well. And so a big part of this work is to think about how to categorize your life, because if you're going to organize it, like into what?
Yeah.
So I help a lot of people talk through like what goes on in your life. What are you focused on? And let's organize according to that, digitally and paper-based. Yeah. I actually wrote a blog post about it, and I have a whole list of all the potential categories that, your life has in it, the things you do. Because once you get that sorted, it just frees you up to then organize it in that way. It's not overwhelming.
Yeah. And then you get to see too, maybe if you've got too much going on in your life, if you've got 70 different folders for all the areas. Maybe that's the issue, and you need to simplify. Send me the link for that blog post and we'll post it below so people can access it to figure out. Like, I love this idea of categorizing. Yeah, that really simplifies.
It's kind of like, again, in working with clients and they're like, okay, I totally get it, but I don't know what categories. And it's like, okay, well, let's talk through what you do. What do you do every day? And what's important to you? Working life, professional life, social life, travel, like all these things are things we think about, and we usually collect information about them.
Right.
So what do we do with all that?
Where to put it?
We can categorize it.
That's
and
great.
Often it parallels digital, paper-based, and even in our home, right? And with our stuff that supports that activity.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. Okay. So that's the O for organizing.
Oh, yeah. So that's the actual organizing, right? Which is only step 4.
When you get to it, you have to do all this stuff. Yeah, you can't. You're right. Because you can't organize before you decide and before you get all the stuff out and before you even know why you're organizing.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's often what holds people back from succeeding and sustaining it, which is step 5. So step 5 is, how do you keep this system going that you've created? So once you've got a system in place, and you have to tweak it as your life changes, like for you've just moved, so you get to create a new system. That's exciting. Right? So, yeah, it's not static. So once you have your system in place, you want to make sure that you take that time to put everything back in its place. It sounds like something you grew up with maybe, but put everything back. But I can tell you, it makes a huge difference. Once you have a place for everything, you know that it goes in this basket, on this shelf, in this drawer, in this file, whatever that is, take that 5 seconds, 10 seconds to put it there, because it will save you tons of like time, energy, frustration. Like that will, that won't happen if you do this. So you have to take a bit of time. And I think again, taking time, whether it's weekly or monthly, to sort of check in with your stuff, with your clutter, if you want to call it that, but just your things. Like, how am I doing? Where am I at with my files, my clothes, just do a check-in with yourself. And maybe it's 20 minutes of just sustaining what you have already put the energy into doing. Because
Right.
if you don't do that, it can start like, falling apart, and then a month, and then 2 months, and 3, and then it becomes overwhelming to get back to where you were. And that
Right.
doesn't work.
Yeah. So it's almost like setting aside that time to do like filing, or to do,
Yes.
even just like the household stuff like bills, which I mean, a lot of us get stuff online, but then every now and then you'll have something paper and you're like, what do I do with this?
Right. So
Yeah.
as we do with cleaning, most people, do some form of like cleaning schedule. Like this is the same. It's a decluttering schedule, let's call it. And that way you prevent that buildup of so much that it becomes overwhelming, and then you feel bad that you're not doing it, and then you're guilty, and then it's just like this cycle, and it's just not helpful, right? And it just can become very frustrating. So yeah, you want to sustain what you start, what you've already put that energy in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's way less energy when you do it in step 5 than at the beginning. Yeah. You're keeping it up. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, okay. So let's recap then. So we've got think, uncover.
Yeah.
D
Decide.
is decide. Yes. Decide. And then organize, and then systems.
Sustain. Yep.
Sustain. Yeah.
Oh yeah, our systems. You know what? S is like always
Let's
tricky
learn.
because I didn't know. I was like sustain with systems and sometimes and support. So like sometimes it's hard to do this all alone. So sometimes it is helpful to either join a group that does it together. I've started a co-decluttering group, and it's fantastic because we come together for a fixed time. And everybody does their own project, declutters their own thing, but we do it collectively, and there's an energy in that. So
get it done with accountability. Yes.
Get it done with accountability. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, the S can be many things.
Yeah. That's so
sustain. Cool. Sustain. You want to sustain your systems.
You sustain your systems. Yes. All right. So how can people find out more about you, Jessica? How can they work with you?
Sure. Well, the best place to find me is at my website, which is my name. So it's jessicatudos.com. And there you'll find, as I mentioned, blogs about things like how do I categorize my life, and all kinds of other things on there. And I have a newsletter sign up, and I send all kinds of like helpful tips and tricks and things that I find, really valuable. And I think the community would agree. So for that's a great way to stay connected with me and learn about what I'm up to.
I will put those links below so you can check those out. Also the link to the blog. And if you found this video, Jessica, thank you for being here. First of all, I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks so much, Jim.
And if you found this video helpful and you want more expert tips, subscribe to this channel, because each week I am sharing 5 things, 5 ways, 5 things, whatever you want to call them, with different experts that'll help you reach your entrepreneurial dreams.